Hello, welcome to another episode of Compion. It's still up to Christmas. I'm sure everyone's really busy. And what I've been paying attention to this week as a theme is partnerships. I was looking to kind of explore, as a person who can be extremely independent himself, the difference between trying to do things on your own or having help and assistance in various different forms, with the goal of really trying to iron out in my head how much I prioritize relationships with people. How much I want to push past any discomfort that can come with trying to build those relationships or maintain those relationships. So, yeah, the process for me this week was to really just pay attention to how my actions were either lending themselves towards like building or burning bridges with people. Um, and also just depending on what state those bridges or those connections with people were in, what was really possible with those people? What did I kind of gain from it? Or how did that affect my life in comparison to what I'd just be maybe doing by myself? And has led to the poem called Shall We Search? Enjoy. Shall we search? Shall we search for evidence of supporting pillars of trust? See the cracks of expectations and ideals and choose to fill them with acceptance. Have that unwavering integrity as the living proof. Shall we learn to breathe bravely, raising the temperature of this space and watch our troubles condense on the walls of our respective perspectives, dare clearly to be wiped away with both of our hands? Shall we find ourselves in the resounding echoes of this symphony of symbiosis, an understanding of unity in landscape and ocean, letting two build as one? Before we get into the reflection section, if you're liking the content so far, please do take the time to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can get a view of all the next videos. Anyways, on to reflections. This poem was a tribute to the greatness that is possible, and sometimes only possible, in collaboration with people. It touches on the trust that's required of being able to see past our own expectations and ideals, as I mentioned, get to the point where we can breathe bravely, say the things that need to be said, and that leads to us being in a space where we can address our own gaps, our own blind spots. I often think of things like coaching and therapy as where you can have all the pieces within yourself, but you're missing the way to put them together. Or you've lost a piece somewhere else and you kind of need to try and dig it out, but you can't quite see where it is. And in a lot of instances, coaching, therapy, and even just your friendships with other people and your discussions you have with them, the environments that you might be in, the things you might be working through together or working on together, can help you navigate your own internal workings and highlight to you areas that you might need to work on or be more aware of. So it's that bouncing off each other that also helps for us to kind of, not necessarily complete, but improve ourselves, be more aware of ourselves, and gain some direction about how we can shift ourselves. And that can be in terms of, I think a good example of that actually is, let's say you wanted to improve on your listening skills. You know, you're not really going to be able to, you can take lots of, you can consume lots of content around that. You can go and practice or understand what the fundamentals of being a great listener might be. But you would never really know that you're a great listener unless other people start to say you are, unless their felt experience of you is that you are a great listener. And so it's that interaction with one another that also highlights those blind spots and also those spots of strength as well. And the last part of that is the different but complementary section, that symphony of symbiosis. We're talking about landscape and ocean, right? Two completely different but very complementary things. And make no mistake, by themselves they are marvels. Great things can still be achieved in isolation. But the best is often the product of collaboration. A good example of this is the Undoing Project. It's a book by Michael Lewis, and it follows two psychologists who essentially, through their own friendship and working together, created the field of behavioral economics. I'd recommend it if you're so inclined. And so, my main takeaway from this week of reflection on mindfulness this has been that we can achieve greatness on our own, but the best versions of ourselves sits in a reflection of others. Next week, the theme will be empathy. We'll be looking at the benefits and the limits of high levels of empathy. See you then.